Hi, and welcome to the S.J. Childs Show. I'm your host, S.J. Childs. S.J. Childs Show brings value to families through education, resources, and lots of laughs. You can find us on our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and all of your favorite podcast platforms. You can also find our special children's books at sjchilds.org. Thank you for all of those who have hosted me on your podcasts. Enjoy the show. Hi, and welcome to the S.J. Childs Show. I'm your host, S.J. Childs, and today I have some spectacular guests for you. We have Faith and Faith Guilbaut. They are here from the East Coast, and also Joyce Chopra. And I don't know where Joyce is coming from, but I'm based out of Utah. So we're glad to be able to meet like this, to get together and to have a really amazing conversation today. I met Karen through another fellow podcaster, Jimmy Apple. So thank you so much, Jimmy, for putting us in touch. I want to introduce Faith and Karen and let them kind of tell you, about themselves, and also give Joyce a chance to introduce herself and let her know what part of the story she is here. So thanks so much for being here, Faith.
Thank you.
So what do you want to tell them?
Tell us how old you are and, kind of like your introduction that you might give when you're introducing yourself.
Hi, I'm Faith Guilbaut. I am 17 years old.
Mm-hmm. How about where do you go to school?
Maryland School for the Blind.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard that you really like it there.
Yeah, I do. There's a residential program, so hopefully someday.
She wants to get into the residential program so she can work on her independent skills.
I love that. I mean, the courage of this young lady. Tell us about your journey and kind of what brought you here today, Faith.
Sure. So a day before the fashion show, Runway of Dreams, reached out to us and said, hey, I have this opportunity with ByKids. Do you want to do it? And I said, sure, yeah, that's fine. I would love to do a film, especially one that does awareness like that. It's just really awesome.
So we have been involved with Runway of Dreams since 2015.
That's 5 years.
It's a nonprofit, and it was founded by Mindy Shire, and her one son has a rare form of muscular dystrophy. He came home from school one day and he wanted to wear jeans just like everybody else.
She can tell her story in her sleep.
I can, because I love them. So she ended up taking she's like, all right. And her son wears AFOs, which for people that don't know, AFOs are the braces that are on the children's feet. And it's very, very hard to get any type of pants to go over them. So she started ripping apart stuff at our kitchen table. One thing led to another. She started focus groups, and then she started the nonprofit. And then lo and behold, in 2016, she ended up partnering with Tommy Hilfiger to launch the first adaptive clothing, which is now Tommy Adaptive. And Faith got to be involved in that. So she was in the first 2016 Runway of Dreams Gala. She was in the photo shoot for the fall and holiday photo shoot. And who were you in the holiday photo shoot with?
Oliver.
And then,
which is her son.
Mm-hmm, and then we got an invite to the White House, which they were celebrating inclusive design.
I didn't get to smile, but it was still awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It was celebrating inclusive design, prosthetics, and assistive technology. And there was only 130 people that were invited, and we got to go with them. So that was a really great experience. And then she was asked to, again, walk in the 2019. And then literally a day before, we got the phone call with this opportunity, and we were on FaceTime with the producers and the directors and everybody else. And lo and behold, here we are.
Here we are.
In the documentary, and it's been an amazing experience.
Oh, that's incredible. And, that's a great segue for Joyce. Joyce, hello. Thank you so much for being here today.
I'm in Charlottesville, Virginia. I was tempted to say I'm from Mars, but
hey,
it's possible.
Yeah, right? Hey,
we're sending rockets there now.
You too, right?
Right.
So nice to have you here today. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I'd rather let you do it so you can do the honors.
Well, I've been making films for, golly, more than 50 years. I started in documentaries. I then sort of segued into features. My first one was a film called Smooth Talk with Laura Dern, which won first prize at Sundance and has now been released on Criterion. Anyway, I got to the point a while ago when I thought I have to do something more than make films for myself. And I met the woman who runs ByKids, which is a nonprofit. And basically, she seduces people like me with a lot of experience to basically work for free or close to mentor young people. Yeah. And it's a wonderful exchange because I learn a lot doing it. And in this case, I learned a lot about living with disability.
Yeah. Yeah. And, we haven't mentioned yet, but Faith does have cerebral palsy and a form of neurological vision impairment. And so, and I'll let her, when we get back, I'll let her tell you a little bit more about that.
I also have epilepsy, so.
Oh, well, they just didn't want to miss too many things, I guess. Your spirit and your, radiance, it's amazing. It's just incredible and so inspiring to so many people. And I did see the adaptive clothing, the commercial or the little show, and it was beautiful. And I'm so proud of you guys and so honored that you were able to, to do that, to be a part of that, and that she made something that important for the community, for the disabled community, because I'm a big advocate. So
I have to interrupt a second. I'd like to explain to people what adaptive clothing is.
Yes, please.
Actually, how it will, or Karen or Faith, what it is that happens. It's not just you rip things apart. Karen or Faith, just describe what it is.
Yeah.
It's magnets and buttons, and you basically could put a dress on yourself instead of having a caregiver put it on for you. So it's just super awesome.
So it's for a shirt, say it's a button-down shirt, it looks like your regular typical buttons, but it's not. It's magnets. For your pants, again, they use magnets and
seams,
Velcro.
And up and down the seams and stuff.
Yes.
So that is incredible.
Yep, they do it at the top here, so that way it gives you more room to put on. But the best for me was by far the pants, because there's a slit at the bottom of them with the magnets, and some have Velcro, and you just open them up, and you put those bad boys on, as I say, those AFOs, and then you just slap those magnets, and you're not sitting there like pulling and sweating and taking 15 minutes to get, everything on.
Yeah. And is it comfortable, Faith? Are the clothes comfortable?
Sometimes at first it could be itchy, but then you get used to it.
Yeah.
I don't think they're itchy. And a lot of them too, a lot of them are actually doing tagless too, because there's a Tommy Adaptive, there's Kohl's Adaptive,
there's Cat and Jack, there's
the Target.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then Zappos is huge because they carry.
Are they doing something with Kohl's too?
Yes, Kohl's Adaptive. And Zappos, you can go on Zappos Adaptive, and they're amazing there. 20% off coupon, and got her some more Billy footwear sneakers.
From Derek.
Yes. And so they carry all the different brands.
I love that.
Kind of like a one-stop shop, which is nice. So, and I think a lot of people don't even realize that there's adaptive clothing out there.
They also do sensory stuff for people that don't like itchy tags.
Yes, so they have it's tagless.
Because I don't like itchy tags. I'll scratch myself, roll, and irritate myself.
Karen, what are taglets? I don't know what that is.
Tagless. So there's no tags. You know how you have the
tagless.
Tagless.
It sounds like you're saying taglets.
Oh,
it's my accent.
I have my family. each member has autism, including my husband and my children, my 3 children. And so we all have some sensory issues, that challenges that happen. And we completely understand that, the wanting to get that, correct sensory input output going on over here. So I understand.
The other one I wanted to mention too is what they do is, so say you have a sweatshirt and how it has the pocket in the front that you put your hands in. Looks just like everybody else.
Well, it's a G-tube hole. I don't have one, but it could be good for people because it hides the G-tube.
So that's the trick. There's a hole
That's wonderful
for people who have G-tubes. So you would never know. They make they make in the pants when people are seated in a wheelchair.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So there's extra material, so that way it's not,
Yeah, because a lot of people with CP have G-tubes, but I don't. I got lucky at that end.
Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, that's great. Well, let's talk about the documentary, and reopening my notes here. Sorry about that. My
you're fine.
Screen shut down. Let's talk about how, is there a person that inspired you, or is there anybody in your life that you're inspired by?
Bethany Hamilton.
Oh, wow. That's great. Why would you choose Bethany?
Because after she got her arm bit off by a shark and everything, I loved how she kept going.
Really courageous, and just that, that oomph in life to just not give up. She got
back in the water like 6 days afterwards or something.
Mm-hmm.
I watched her.
It's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I agree. I think that I hope my kids embody that same, I always tell them, like, it's the best thing you can do is give yourself the best life you can give yourself. And that's by getting up and having courage. And I'm sure that Joyce has had a lot of experience in doing that too, and meeting some amazing people.
Yeah, well, also being a woman in the field that I'm in.
Yeah.
When I'll put it this way, I directed my first made-for-television movie. They don't make them anymore, but it used to be every Sunday and Wednesday night, CBS, NBC, ABC had a movie for television. And this was 1991. There had been thousands of these films made, and only 10 women had ever directed any of them, and one woman had directed 5 of them. So that's what I was up against,
That's cool. But
and now in the last few years, it's changed dramatically.
Yeah, that's
but
nice.
I also did an episode of Law and Order Special Victims Unit. It was their 5th season. They had hired one woman 3 seasons ago, and she was found wanting. And the producer was awful to me. I mean, just didn't want me there. I was forced on him.
Oh,
and now it's changed. They're about women. And anyway, that was my big problem, really.
Yeah.
Just battling that. Yeah.
I can imagine. That is so true. Definitely. I mean, what a big thing to come up against. And, there's a lot of women in podcasting. There's probably a lot more men. I don't know, but the same thing probably. And, I've really tried to separate myself and say, I'm a talk show host. This is a talk show. It's what we can do, right? To just kind of shine with a different light. And so I love that. Karen, I am so excited to talk to you and happy that we get to connect. I want to talk to you about how's this journey been for you, and maybe some exciting things and maybe any challenging things that throughout this journey and the documentary process with her.
I just think it's been an amazing experience from the start. We've always wanted to do something like this. We've always wanted to highlight, we've always wanted to actually do a reality show series that's highlighting, all different types of people with disabilities. And, because there's so many people on all different levels, and just show the realness of the backstory and their daily, how they live their daily lives, and how some people take things for granted. We were on a call before this, and Joyce, when we were talking about how you kept that one scene all the way through to show how long in the different ways at school for her to learn, not just like one small piece. So I think some people don't realize, how much really it takes for a lot of these kids. And also you have to give them the time to do it, and you have to give them the support in order to do it as well, but they can succeed. But it's just really showcasing and making awareness, and just so that the kids, they're human just like everybody else. They want to be like everybody else. Approach them, talk to them, don't be afraid of them, ask questions. They're open to answer anything.
Yeah,
Definitely. Yeah, and I think, and let me just read here from today. It came out in the
I can read it.
The news.
Or you can tell me that.
How it says, all right, so the documentary in Maryland, actually here in Maryland, it's playing May 15th at 8:00.
Oh, wonderful.
So eventually it will be sent to 1.8 million American teachers in 155 different cities this spring. It will then be shown in 150 countries across the world. And then the film, with the introduction by actress Ashley Judd, comes with a teaching toolkit. So I think that it's amazing that, it not only is it going to be shown to so many people on TV, but it's really going to help these kids
bring awareness. Yeah.
So that's like really,
that's so important. That's one of, I think, the most important places to start. And sad that it's, we put a lot of pressure on teachers. I wish that they would support them more in supporting kids in their emotional intelligence just as much as their education. I believe truly in teaching kids early on about, special needs and differences, because it's when kids are come up with differences that they face them with fear unless they have knowledge to be supportive and to be understanding. Is there much, are there any books, children's books or anything about cerebral palsy? Like,
I want to write one.
She wants to write one.
Let's do it together. Let's do it together, Faith. I think that would be amazing. I love to celebrate and bring awareness to all the unique.
That's always been a dream of mine.
I love that. It's so great. I have a 9-year-old, and she is on this, she's going to be tested to be on the spectrum, but when right? And she also has dyslexia, and she is an incredible artist and drawing and things. She draws these incredible things. And so when she was 8, she illustrated her first book, and I published it for her. So yeah, you can do it now, Faith. It's something you can do at any age. Well, when you have time, of course, but yeah,
you can make time, right?
Yes. And there's so many great programs like on the computer.
I want to write a book.
Yeah, she told Jimmy Apple that too. Yeah,
I love that. And there's so many great programs that you can do voiced text. And you can do, we're helping our daughter with that because she really struggles with writing. And I noticed you're left-handed. When you were writing on your thing, signing in for school, I was like, oh, she's left-handed. Look at that.
Yeah, which makes it even harder for me. I'm like, how do I help her even? I'm like, oh my gosh.
That's different. Yeah, that's really unique. Yeah. So I don't know why I noticed, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's incredible.
And I think too, like when people talk to us about the documentary and stuff, and it's not like we're just sharing our daily lives. I mean,
they call us famous, and we're like, we're not famous.
Well, she doesn't like the term famous. She doesn't want to be a celebrity. She wants to be an advocate, is what
I love that.
She prefers, is to be an advocate.
Absolutely.
And also, do you want to tell them about the film festival?
Oh, I was United and
yeah,
I can't.
It's a mouthful.
Great.
It's the United Nations Association Film Festival in California.
Wow.
Got that? Say that 3 times.
Yes.
So ByKids submitted it.
By hundreds of films, I was one of 60.
So
congratulations.
600 submissions, and out of those 600 submissions, hers was one of 60 that was chosen to be featured.
Wonderful.
And then to top that off, her and Tracy got the Kids Vision Award.
Wow.
Had it not been for
I
Joyce
have a picture
and
on
ByKids.
my computer of it.
Yeah. And then they also put it in for the Richmond International Film Festival, and it got accepted to that. So we're excited because
I might get to go to Virginia in person.
Yeah, we're going to go in person, so we get to see Joyce again too.
Love it.
But also, I just think it's hard because with COVID, there were so many so many opportunities and experiences that she didn't get to go to
Yeah.
because of COVID. But with that being said, it had like with the film festival, it had a bigger reach.
Yeah.
Because
There you go. Because it wasn't just in person.
Right. And then we
That's
did a
cool.
screening in 2000 in December. This past December, we did a screening with the United Nations of New York.
Wow.
Church will do a screening.
Yeah, church said that they would do a screening.
Karen, Faith, did you have a screening for your school? Have these people seen it?
Not yet. Not yet.
With your teachers?
A lot of them have signed on for the first screening,
Great.
but I know they're working with Holly to have a screening for the school.
They could also see it on PBS this Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, how exciting. Oh, looks like we may have froze up a little bit. Wait and see.
Fix Faith.
There we
just slowly.
go.
And then finally said, can I take your hand? And I was thinking about, would I have been that patient? You know,
That's-
she's,
Aliza, and then
Yeah.
I have Miss Amanda this year. She's
Mhm.
I also love her as well.
I'm glad to hear that.
I love all the teachers that ran school for the blind. They're so
They're so wonderful. Yeah.
That is so great. What was it like for you, Joyce, when you first met Faith? What was that like for you?
Oh, it was easy.
I love that.
You know, I just arrived at their house and we'd spoken on the phone, but that's not
Yeah.
the same thing. But it was just natural. I don't know how else to put it. And I have to compliment particularly Karen. I think Karen is really the producer because
Aw.
she's the one who would arrange when we would go to the horseback. I mean, she just understands how to produce, and not many people do. And she just got it all immediately, you know. And anyway, so I want to thank you,
Great.
Karen.
Thank you. And that's a huge
And Faith,
compliment
both.
coming from you. That's like awesome.
I love it.
And we just adored them. Like we would have breakfast, lunch, and dinner with them. We would just
Yeah.
sit here and talk.
Them is my assistant
Yeah.
partner, Kat.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was just amazing because we feel so bonded with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
we were even eating takeout with them and acting like that was a normal thing.
Yeah.
Yes, very normal.
Yes, I cooked dinner and we all sat down at the table and had dinner.
And cooked.
Great.
Yeah.
I love that.
So Faith, why don't you share? So there was one thing when that Faith was really, really, really excited about when she found out. When she was a little bit younger, she was completely into American Girl dolls, like you know.
Yes.
And then when we were like, all right, who's this Joyce? We're gonna search her and look her up and see what movies and TV shows she
I
did.
screamed. I was so excited.
So tell them, what movie did she direct?
Molly.
Yes, the American Girl doll movie Molly.
I love American Girl movies, actually. My daughter and I love them too. So that's
I did this.
fantastic.
I did a live action about the Molly doll. I loved it because the period was the 40s, which is my period.
Awesome.
Yeah, and the kids were great. I loved working with young people, as you could see. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And you're so patient and graceful. Just so yeah, that's so exciting.
And then she went and she got the book, and it was the behind the scenes of Molly.
Oh yes, I gave
So
that
there's
to
pictures
Faith.
of Joyce in there. She's
I
like,
saw it.
and she signed it for her.
I love that.
Told me I was her own little American girl.
And that she's grown to love you more and more each day as she works with
I
you.
bet. Yeah, that's so neat. What amazing connections we can make
Mhm.
in the most unexpected ways sometimes, right?
Yeah.
What
Oh, yeah.
after filming, Joyce, like what do
Yeah.
you think your takeaway from it was? How did you
Well,
feel?
that's a pretty big question.
I know.
I don't want to answer in generalities. My takeaway is that Faith is okay. She's an okay kid. That's about it.
I love it.
Sure. I have a dad like that, so I know when someone's joking.
Yes, isn't that funny, right? No, I can. I'm just watching, you know, how much energy and excitement you have about being an advocate makes me so happy to celebrate that, and just as much as Joyce, I'm sure. So thank you guys so much. What do you think, Karen, what's some advice you might give to other parents how they can empower their kids in the same way that you have.
Be patient and hang in there.
Yes. So I would say,
Precisely.
I love that.
did you want to say something, Joyce?
No, I say precisely.
Yeah.
So I would say the best advice I can say is do your research, get out there and find a support group and other families that are going through what you're going through. I got involved with the ARC Northern Chesapeake region back in 2006 when she was like about 6 years old when we moved to Maryland. And from there, it's just spiraled because everybody's kids are at different ages. And we look up to the ones that kids are older. So they've been through it. So they're teaching us and showing us the ropes and giving us the resources. And it's like, oh my gosh, I never thought about that, you know? And so now I'm in the position where I'm able to help the younger ones coming up. So it's a trickle effect, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you get involved with parents that really know what you're going through.
And she works for treatment and foster care. So this lady does good work right here.
Oh.
So yes, I happen to work for the ARC Northern Chesapeake region now for years, and I'm in the treatment foster care department.
Wow.
So it goes hand in hand because the ARC, I mean, there's chapters all over.
Yeah.
Amazing. Their family support services. That's where you need to go and link up.
I love that.
Just find support groups. And a lot of times the schools too. I had chaired the Special Education Citizens Advisory Committee for 2 years. And different states, they're called something different, but it's basically parents with children with disabilities.
Is it PTO?
It's kind of like a PTO, but for special needs.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we work, closely with the director of special education. And then we have different kinds of topics and presenters come in. So it's, and actually I had gotten a gentleman that I went to school with, Dr. Paul, he has CP also. And
He stayed at our house for a month.
Yeah.
Wow.
Not a month. Not a month. He did come and stay with us, and he actually presented in 2 of our schools and then at the board meeting.
I think he stayed in Grammy's house.
Yes, he stayed at Grammy's house.
That's cool.
While Grammy was away. But
You're leaving out, Karen, something very important, which Faith asked you in the movie. Why did you made all these videos of Faith as she was growing up? And that you posted them for other people to help them.
Oh.
That to me was the most important thing.
That's amazing.
Because if you can help at least one person, and that's why it's like, I know some of the girls don't like to be called inspiration. There's like that fine line,
Yeah. Okay.
If it's something that you show and put out there, and if it can help someone, in any way possible, I think that needs to be. And that is kind of inspiring in a way to me. But again, you don't want people to, to feel sorry for you. It's just the way it is. It's our everyday life. But yeah, it's just, I wanted to share her.
When I go out to
life.
restaurants, sometimes I get stares. So if you're curious, just ask questions.
Yep, just ask questions.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's so important to give kids the power to ask questions because they want the knowledge and they don't want to be confused or fearful that they don't understand a situation or a person's behavior. I think that it's so important to one time just a few years ago when we go around trick-or-treating, it's hard sometimes with our son with autism because he wants to go into people's houses when they open their doors. He doesn't realize it's a take and go. He's like, woohoo, I'm coming to visit. And so finally one year, I just put a little label on his costume that said, I have autism, please be patient. And, everyone was so kind and so understanding, and they really gave him grace and time. And it was so nice. And it was just a little bit of knowledge that they needed to help support, that situation. So I love that. I think that's great. It's kind of a reverse asking a question, but rather giving the answer up, right? Up for them. Yeah.
And
but
I could say
same thing.
There's an experience that comes back to mind too. When we first started going to our church, and how some people, they pray for healing and everything. But I almost feel like, God has a bigger plan for her and there's a reason. And I think that he's using her in the way that he's supposed to, and is to shine a light on others, and to that showing others that it's okay to be different, and
Yes.
they're just as loved, and that, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like she is kind of living her purpose. When the time comes, the time will come, but she's that's kind of how I feel on that.
Yeah. How do you feel on that there, Faith?
I just feel like they can, like,
Do you feel God made you the way you are for a reason?
yeah, and then I feel like they can pray for healing, but I'm like, they're like, oh no, and I'm like, just be patient.
Yeah.
This is what? I
right?
didn't hear that. This is
Just
what?
be patient.
Just be patient. I love that. That's patience is a virtue, right? When we definitely have to
Find the way I am.
earn over time. Wonderful. It's been such an honor and a pleasure to have you all here with me today. Karen or Joyce, either of you, please feel free and let us know where everybody can find the show and the information about that. And we'll, of course, have all the links down in the description so that everyone will know where to find it as well. And this will be posted on YouTube. So we
Almost
can.
like you're saying
Yeah.
peanut butter and jelly, but you're saying PBS.
Yeah, right?
So
That's great.
it's anybody can also go to just look up ByKids, BYKids,
Great.
and you can actually look at all the different films that they're working on, the different seasons also.
Yeah.
But even if you just Google Face World PBS, it will come up. Joyce, do you have any words?
No, it's just, PBS, the film is sponsored by a PBS station in New York, WNHT, and they offer it to the PBS stations around the country. And each station picks its time
Yeah.
when they're going to show it. Yeah, so it's all over the place.
Yeah,
I
it is.
love that. That's best, right? To just get it in front of as many audiences as possible.
Yes, it's going to be seen by millions, finally.
I
yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
And then they rebroadcast them.
That's the hardest part is okay, we got it done. Now we got to wait for so long for it to come out,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I also love this thing about Man's for the Blind is that there's a one in like every country.
Oh, in Maryland,
Yeah.
they have them in several places.
Yeah.
And then for Faith and I, we usually tag team everything. One, again, because of a lot of the scribing, which Facebook, I'm calling them out. They need to do something with speech to text and text to speech because she can't go on that. So she likes to go on TikTok because she can watch. She goes and replies to a story. She can do the speech to text. But the issue is she can go through Facebook and stuff, but it doesn't allow you to do the speech to text, so she can't read it.
If you put like some words on it, it can read it back to you in Siri for blind people, which I think is awesome.
That is awesome. Well, I have a TikTok account, so we'll hook up, Faith, and we'll be able to promote this show on your page and my page.
But otherwise, it's at Guilbaut Girls, which is my
Great.
last name, which is up there. Just Guilbaut Girls. I have
love
it on
that.
Facebook. We have a YouTube channel where I uploaded a lot of our stuff from when she was from young all the way up.
Oh, it's
And I
great.
feel like the film is also great too because it puts the point across of like, I'm not suffering from CP, I'm living with CP.
Yeah. And you're living your best life and doing all of these great things, and you have, ideas and goals for the future. Is there a specific goal? I think I was going to ask you that. Is there any future goals that you have, Faith, like anything that you want more than anything else?
What do you think, Mom?
What do you want to do? What do you want to do the most? What's a goal of yours that you want to do?
We know you want to write a children's book.
Yeah. And I also want to like find a job where I can help people.
I love that. I love that. I can't imagine you wouldn't be able to find one. I'm sure
I think
that
so. Yes, you will.
they'll be reaching out to you. That's wonderful. Thank you guys so much for being
Thank
on
you
the
for
show
having us.
today. It's been a
Thank you.
pleasure. I just honor each of you as women, and thank you for our mothers on the show for this last Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. And Faith, I am giving you a virtual hug, high fives, all the good stuff. And I am excited to see how this all goes, and I hope that we can connect again in the future.
Oh, and also a community dog in the future.
Love it.
Can I put one plug in there? I'm just such a plugger.
Please.
So
Any-
There's no time
So
limit.
if there are any, because I know a lot of people that watch your show and you do a lot of interviews with people with disabilities. So Mindy Shire from Runway of Dreams, she also birthed Gamut Management. So it's GAMUT Management,
Okay.
and it's a talent agency for people with disabilities. So if anybody's interested in modeling, filming, anything, they actually hosted a webinar with.
They do Broadway too and plays.
Yeah, with six different casting agencies, and then they have 700 gamut talent. Each one of them were able to submit. They gave you like 3 choices, but submit a self-tape.
Oh yeah.
They chose 20 people from there to move on, and Faith was one of those 20. So
Yeah, and I'm also waiting to hear back from a show. I can't say what show, but I can say it's on the CW.
Woo!
she was one of 20, and she got 10 minutes of Zoom time with 3 different casting directors.
Great.
And then a fourth one. So
And then one of the casting directors put something in for me, so I'm working on it.
yeah. So as I said, the more you do it and put in auditions, and the more you get used to doing it, the more natural and it.
So
you
true.
know,
Definitely.
So if there's anybody out there that is interested in any of that, go to Gamut Management, because they can help you, because they're
I
there
think
to
their
support.
locations are in New York, New Jersey, and LA.
Oh yeah, the casting directors. So
That's
anyways,
fantastic.
That was my little.
Thank you. No, I think that's great. And if you think of anything else, get a hold of me and we'll put it all down. We'll make sure that it's mentioned somewhere, and we can type some more info in wherever. So yeah, I'm probably not as great as producing videos as Joyce maybe after 50 years, since I've only been about 2 months into it, but we'll do our best over here. Oh, thank you guys. Yeah, right. We have to start somewhere, right? Or
Right.
we can't
Yep.
start it all. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks.
Goodbye.
Bye, Joyce. Love you.
Bye.
I wanna be the kind of guy that keeps you warm at night when you are cold. I'll grab some blankets from my bed, wrap them around your chest, now pull you close. We'll flip some channels to find out there's nothing on right now to ease your mind. Sit back, relax, there is no rush, no need to speed things up. All we have is time to think about the future, forget about the past. Time to figure out a way to make this moment last. To make this moment last. To make this moment last. So let's make this the kind of love that we've been dreaming of when we sleep at night. We'll get a little house to live in, have a couple kids, and we'll sleep tight. Cause baby, all we really need are just a couple things to stay alive. And everything else in between, just trust my heart, you'll see. We're slowly coming. Time future, forget about the past. Time to figure out a way to make this moment last. To make this moment last. To make this moment last. Sunrises, sunsets, I won't let you forget that I need you. Spring comes as spring goes, forever you will know that I love you. Sunrises, sunsets, I won't let you forget that I need you. Spring comes as spring goes, forever you will know that I love you.